Welcome, Kleschka Crew, to another episode of Kleschka Picks. We're going to start this one talking about fantasy football because I just claimed myself a playoff spot. Let's go! And the person I beat to get that playoff spot was Javi. I absolutely destroyed him. It feels so good. Roll the intro. Thursday game for this week is another primetime matchup that is not thrilling at all. We have the Patriots and the Steelers. The Patriots were shut out last week and they lost. You know how much the other team scored? 6, and they lost. Unbelievable. And the Steelers, they lost Kenny Pickett. They also lost their game to the Cardinals. The backup, Mitch Trubisky, came in, could not help. And this week, I don't know what to expect out of this matchup. I expect garbage. That's what I expect. Straight garbage, straight hot garbage. And I think the better team that is going to be less garbage is going to be the Steelers. Mitch Trubisky has better experience in the NFL than either of the Patriots quarterbacks do this season, at least. Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi both have not been able to get the job done no matter who's going in there. And it sucks because the Patriots defense does step up at times, like last week, for example. And the offense is just horrendous. So giving me Pittsburgh being less horrendous and winning this game 13-7. I don't think you guys can hear it, but these headphones are really sensitive. When I go like this on this jacket, it sounds really cool in my ear. But I don't think the mic picks it up at all. Oh, maybe it does. Anyways, we have Tampa Bay versus Atlanta. Atlanta beat another team that is not good offensively, and that is the Jets. And then we had Tampa Bay, who barely beat the Panthers. They won on a game-winning interception. And this week, division matchup. Both of these teams have been up and down, mainly the Buccaneers. The Falcons have gone through quarterback changes like crazy this year, and I don't think this is going to be a thrilling matchup. I think it is going to be a mediocre matchup, and I think the Buccaneers are going to be the ones that come out on top just because they have better weapons offensively. Baker Mayfield, solid quarterback. Mike Evans, great receiver. Congrats on him for 10 straight years of 1,000 receiving yards, and I think they are going to have a better offensive game plan going into this against a weaker defense between the two, and I think Tampa barely wins 20-19. Ravens and Rams. The Rams last week beat the Browns at home. They had an offensively amazing game, taking advantage of their young weapons like Puka Nacua and Kyron Williams, who both went off, who are both on my fantasy team. Let's go. And the Ravens, they had all that time to rest, and this team has been dangerous all year. They've been great on the ground game, and their defense has been one of the best in the NFL. However, the Rams are hot right now. I don't think they're going to beat the Ravens, but I think they will at least make the game closer than people think. And I think the Ravens still come out on top using that ground game to help defeat the Rams. And I think the defense will be able to keep them from passing the Ravens. So give me the Ravens winning this one 27-23. Lions and Bears. The Lions won last week. They returned to form. Their offense was great, using their wide receivers and their running backs effectively. And the Bears, they were on a bye week last week. I don't think rest will matter for them. Detroit has been very good this season. They've had a few bumps, but for the most part, they have been a fun team and they've been succeeding. And I think against one of the bottom of the barrel teams like the Bears, the Detroit Lions will continue to succeed and will continue to dominate. And I think they're going to get back on a roll, continue balling, and I think they go big with their weapons, and I think they win against the Bears 33-17. Colts and Bengals. The Colts and Bengals both won in overtime last week. The Bengals did it with a game-winning field goal from Evan McPherson. The Colts with a touchdown to Michael Pittman. I think this week we are going to see a great battle between two teams that have faced a lot of challenges this year. The Bengals losing Joe Burrow, the Jonathan Taylor drama for the Colts, but they have stepped up in this adversity and they have not allowed that to slow them down. The Colts offense has been consistent, it's been good, and they've been making use of their young weapons. Gardner Minshew is taking advantage of this opportunity, and Jake Browning just took them a couple games to get locked in, went out there, beat the Jags, and looked good while doing it. They prove to people that they are more than just Joe Burrow. They can still compete with teams in this league. But I think this week I got the Colts winning. I think their offense has been more locked in more recently in weeks, and I feel like the Bengals are the team that could crumble quicker at any second more than the Colts. So give me the Colts barely winning this one. I think it'll be a close game, but I think the Colts pull it off and take it 30-23. Jaguars and Browns, both of these teams lost last week, and they both took pretty bad hits. The Browns were destroyed by the Rams with Joe Flacco as their quarterback. And then for the Jags, they might not have Trevor Lawrence for next week and maybe longer. His ankle was stepped on by his own teammate, and nobody really knows how bad the injury is as I film this. The news has yet to come out, so they might be without him for this game, and it could be CJ Beathard stepping in, who's had time and starting experience in the NFL back in San Francisco. And we have the Browns, who have a veteran with Joe Flacco, but due to his age, I just don't think he's going to keep up with the Jags and their offense, who still has good weapons like Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk, Travis Etienne. I think they have more offensively to offer than the Browns do, and I think that is going to be the reason they win this game. So give me the Jags winning 20-17. Panthers and Saints. The Saints did lose last week, but they did get a good game out of their guys. Alvin Kamara was great. Taysom Hill got back into the end zone. And for the Panthers, it has been another game where they continue to struggle. Bryce Young had an opportunity to drive down the field and win the game for his team, but he threw an interception and they took the L to the Buccaneers. The Saints, they are up and down. They're a lot like the Titans. They'll have a great game and then they'll have a bad game. And their defense is pretty good, but I mean, just the fact that they're facing the worst team in the NFL with the Panthers is reason enough for me to believe that they will be fine on either side of the ball, handling them. And I think the Saints will beat the Panthers this week, 23-13. Texans and Jets. The Jets lost last week. What else is new? And the Texans, they won on a game-winning interception against the Broncos. We all know the Jets are offensively challenged. They have so many problems with their offense. They cannot move the ball. It is hard to watch. Trust me, I watched it in person at MetLife this year, and it was ugly. That's all I got to say. The Texans take a big hit losing Tank Dell, but I think they will be fine. CJ Stroud has proved to be one of the best young quarterbacks in the league, and he's still got a great weapon with Nico Collins. And due to the Jets not being able to play football on the offensive side of the ball, I think we will see the Texans win this game 24-10. My mid matchup of the week, the Raiders and the Vikings. And that means we barely talk about it because it's so mid. I'm going to say Raiders win 21-17. Bills and Chiefs. The Bills were on a bye week last week. The Chiefs went in the Lambeau and they lost. When their offense was needed, they were not showing up. They were scoring, but when they really needed to step up, when they really needed Patrick Mahomes to be the MVP, to get them down the field, he was not doing it. And both of these teams have underperformed this year. These are two teams a lot of people expect to be Super Bowl contenders. Obviously, the Chiefs, not as bad as the Bills have looked this year in some of their games, but I wonder how this is going to go. Are they both going to continue to struggle, or is one of these teams going to finally get back on track? I think I'll just keep it close between the two. I think it'll be a decent scoring game, but based on their struggles, I think one of these teams is going to choke towards the end. And in their previous matchups, we've seen the team that does it every single time, and that is the Bills. I think it happens once again, and I think Patrick Mahomes gets into his bag and finds that clutch factor that we have seen from him before. Give me the Chiefs winning 27-24. Chargers and Broncos. The Chargers won last week. Somehow they only got 6 points, but the Patriots have not been good at all this year, so that explains everything. And the Broncos, they had a chance to win the game, but Russell Wilson threw a pick which sealed the win for the Texans. They were fighting all game long, and they have been on a hot streak these couple weeks, and I don't think that'll fade away just because of the loss last week. They were playing fine. It's just in the final minute, they did not get the job done. The Chargers, I've said this about them all year, while they will score points offensively, the defense is going to give up way too many. And with the way the Broncos have been playing and the confidence they have, I don't think that'll be dampened by the L. And I think they will go in. Russell Wilson will have a great day against the Chargers defense. and I think they win this game 28-20. Seahawks and 49ers. My Seahawks lost to the Cowboys on Thursday Night Football last week. We were showing up offensively, but in the second half, we started to slow down big time and could not keep up with the Cowboys. But it was very tough by DK Metcalf to stand in on business sign language. I love how he's doing that. What do you guys think of that? I think it's hilarious. And the 49ers, they made a statement against the Philadelphia Eagles, went into their home and dominated them. McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Brock Purdy, they were on fire. And based on how the matchup went the first time we played the 49ers, I don't think it's getting any better. We just have a tough schedule to end the year, and I think it's going to be a very sad end of the year for Seahawks fans. I think the 49ers definitely have our number. I think they are definitely on a big confidence boost right now and riding a high, and they know how they handled us last time, and this time it's going to be in San Francisco. With their weapons, I think it is going to be very hard to stop them, and I think the 49ers win this game 30-17. Cowboys and Eagles. We were just talking about these two teams. You know, the Cowboys, they won the shootout battle against my Seahawks, and the Eagles were absolutely destroyed. These two teams have played each other already this season, and that was a great game. It came down to the final seconds, and this week, I think we'll see the same thing, but I think the script will be reversed. I think the Cowboys are playing better football right now. Offensively, they have looked great the past couple weeks. The Eagles have been struggling in their wins in the past couple weeks. It has been a hard-fought battle, and after what happened last week, they are definitely in a space where they have to get out of this funk, or it is not going to be good going into the playoffs. And with that, I just think Dak is playing on another level. He is finally making big use of CeeDee Lamb, and Tony Pollard is a solid running back. And their defense has been one of the best in all of football this year. So I think it comes down to a close score, but I think this time the Cowboys win 30-27. Dolphins and Titans. The Titans lost in a heartbreaking one in overtime against the Colts last week, and the Dolphins, they took care of the Commanders no problem. Tua and that offense absolutely thriving. And here's the story with both of these teams. When the Titans play a very high velocity, very good team like the Dolphins, they do not perform. And with the Dolphins, when they play teams like this that are towards the bottom of the league, they're not as good, they destroy them. So I believe that is what's going to happen again. And I think the Dolphins offense is going to go crazy again. So give me the Dolphins winning 30-14. Packers and Giants. The Giants were on a bye week last week. They've been one of those teams that have had big problems offensively this year. And that was the case for the Packers early in the season. But the more the season has gone on, the more Jordan Love has played, he is starting to look like the next era in Green Bay. Favre, Rodgers, Love, he just beat the Chiefs last week, and he is definitely rolling on a high confidence right now. I think the Packers are going to be able to handle the Giants no problem. I think Jordan Love is finally hitting this stride. I think he's finally getting to his final adjustments in the NFL. And for the Giants, I don't think their offense will keep up at all with the Packers. So give me the Packers winning this one 27-17. And with that, thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Kleschka Picks. If you made it to the end of this video, then I want you to comment, Spidey's going to playoffs, and I'm hopefully going to win the championship this year. I got this, you got this, we all got this, and I will see you next time.